Welcome to Shortview Trading, your morning market hit for Wednesday, 21st of October. What matters today for traders? Well, markets once again were buffeted by headlines from the potential fiscal stimulus package. And this time, despite the looming 48-hour deadline at the back end of Tuesday, Pelosi gave more encouragement that the package, the stimulus deal, could be reached. So negotiations remain ongoing. Markets popped on the back of that comment, albeit then faded. Far more interesting, in my opinion, is what's happened to Bitcoin in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin is knocking on the door of its mid-August highs. You can see that in the chart now. It's up a short 3% overnight. It was up yesterday and it's quite close to that 12,400 level it saw on the 18th of August. Now, why do I mention Bitcoin? I mention it because it's the purest play speculative instrument out there and a very pure liquidity indicator. And in that sense, it functions very well. It tends to lead the S&P 500, often by a matter of days or indeed weeks. And it also leads gold and silver. You can see that in the short term on the S&P 500 chart that we're putting in front of you now. This shows Bitcoin against the S&P 500. At key turning points in the short term, it often leads the equity market. More importantly, if you pull out and look at a longer time frame, you can see the real potency of Bitcoin tending to lead the S&P at key turning points by 2 or 3 weeks. You'll remember back in December 2017, as we're coming to that major high in Bitcoin around the sort of 20-odd thousand level, it turned ahead of the S&P 500. The Bitcoin peaked in Dec 17, the S&P then peaked on Jan 26, 2018, a few weeks later. In other words, Bitcoin told you that liquidity was starting to tighten, and eventually the S&P picked that up and rolled quite sharply. Equally, wind forward to the end of 2018 and you get the reverse effect, Bitcoin troughing in mid-December 18 before the S&P 500 troughing on Christmas Eve, Boxing Day type time in December 18. You'll remember that as well. And it's happened on a number of occasions. Bitcoin, of course, is not a perfect indicator. It's not a perfect leading indicator of the S&P, but it's an extremely good one with a very good hit rate. And in that sense, it's interesting to note that it's trying to break out to new levels. If successful on breaking out, that adds caution about our current short position that we've got in play in markets. Further to that, actually, the models have been moving. We had a clear sell signal across the board at the early last week, the start of last week. That message is diminishing in its strength some and now just about starting to signal buy some of those models, others moving lower. So as such, there's a greater degree of caution about our short positions in S&P futures. So to see how we're playing this, please see today's Daily Rag available to subscribers via the website. So what are we watching today? Well, lots going on. The Fed Beige book is out later on London evening time. That's always interesting update on economic activity across the US states. Added to that, we've got Brainard, one of the Fed's Washington governors, the Federal Reserve Central Board governors, speaking on the economic and monetary policy outlook. That'll be watched closely. So that's it from us. That's your morning market hit for Wednesday, 21st of October. Thank you for listening. Please do subscribe on YouTube. Simply search under Shortview Trading or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and or LinkedIn. Thank you for listening. Trade well.